We are inside the truck. I got my Autel TS508. I have it plugged into the OBD2 port with the cord just laying on the ground because we're going to need that later. So we're going to go into the TS508. We're going to select forward. And we are an F150. And this is a 2014. So we're going to select number 4 up to 2014. Now there were two options, a 315 megahertz and a 433. The most traditional one on this one is a 315, so we're going to use that one first. So we're going to go into TPMS Diagnose just to check all the sensors and see what's going on. So we'll select yes on that. It's going to tell us to clear the previous data. Yep, that was from last time I scanned a vehicle. All right, so we're going to start at the front left. So it tells us where to start. We're going to put that right by the stem. We're going to select the activation button. It's going to scan the sensor and give us the information out of that sensor. Go to the next side. Next wheel's front right, and back to the right rear. And then left rear. Okay, so now we got all of our sensors. The tool is going to prompt us. It says, please connect OBD2 and turn ignition on. So we're going to connect our OBD2 connector. And we're going to turn the ignition on. All right, we're going to go back to the tool. Once we're all connected up, we're going to say yes. It's going to automatically communicate with the truck. You hear the horn honk, it's communicating with the TPMS module. Click OK. Alright, so we have red all the way across. So that means that the TPMS sensors do not match what the truck sees as ID. But you also see up in the top center where the engine light is on. So let's go ahead and select yes to view DTC and see what that code is. So this is going to pull all the codes out of the TPMS module. So that could be anything that uses the wireless functionality of the truck. So that could be remote key fob, that could be the TPMS sensors. Horn continues to honk as we access the TPMS module. Okay, so this one gives me a B1175. It doesn't give me the definition of that code because that's actually a manufacturer-specific code. That is for the automatic running boards. So it's giving me a code for the automatic running boards, which this one does not have. So the reason that's in the TPMS module is because when you activate your wireless key fob and unlock the doors, those automatically come down. So that's why it's in that module. So that's what that is. So nothing big deal for us. We're going to go ahead and back out. Okay, so now we want to program these sensor IDs correctly to the truck so we get everything green. So we're going to back out, we're going to select no, and we're going to do a position relearn. It says clear previous data from the tool. We have to do that because we have to put this into relearn mode. So if we read through the instructions on the relearn mode, it tells us to cycle the key, push the brake pedal, cycle the key, push the brake pedal, and that will make the horn honk, and that will put it into relearn mode. So let's go ahead and do that. So according to the instructions, we turn the key to the off position, push the brake pedal, cycle 3 times. 1, 2, 3, leave it on, push the brake pedal. 1, 2, 3, brake pedal. There was the horn. Our next step is to go out and scan all the wheels in order. Every time we catch a sensor, the horn will honk. So now we have relearned all the positions for the sensors. It's asking me to go ahead and connect the OBD2 port. Now you'll notice on the dash it says training complete. So we know our TPMS is completely programmed. We're going to go back here to the tool. It's going to read the sensor IDs out of the truck, compare them to the sensor IDs that we just scanned, and make sure that everything's in the right position. It's just telling us that OBD2 programming is not supported on this truck. We knew that. That's why we put it in relearn mode. There we go. Everything is green now, so the sensor matches the ID. So we're going to go ahead and exit out. The customer's next question was, can I relearn the pressure that the truck is supposed to see? So he wants his pressure to be at 40 psi. So we're going to go down here to number 5, so the tire type and pressure selection. Please connect the OBD2. We did that. And it's going to tell us what we're doing. So this is going to reset the parameters of the pressure on the tires. We'll click OK. We want to write tire pressure on placard. So currently, on our placard, we are at 35 psi front and rear. Now this customer has aftermarket tires on this truck and he wants to run them at 40. So we're going to go back to our tool. And it says to press the activation button to edit. So we're going to, the front, we're going to edit that. We're going to go down to 40. We're going to select yes. We'll go down to the back. Edit. $40, yes. Do we want to confirm? Yes. Front tire pressure on placard, 40 psi, rear D4, rear is 40, yes. The writing is successful. We're going to push OK. So that's how we relearn the sensor positions and relearn the pressure on a 2014 Ford F-150. So now let's take it one step further. Let's say that one of those sensors was bad and we want to relearn that sensor to the truck. So we're going to back out. I'm going to go all the way out and select my truck again. Yes. Okay, so let's say that we're going to relearn a sensor to this truck. I'm going to show you two different ways to do this, and they're both with the Autel MX sensors. So I'm going to show you two different style of sensors. They both operate the same way. Both of these sensors are an Autel MX sensor. This is the older version of the sensors. So these cannot be batch programmed. This is the newer version of the sensors. These can be batch programmed. You can tell that because of the QR code right there on the sensor. So we're going to go ahead and do the older version of the sensor first and show you how that process works. So this is a brand new Autel MX sensor. This one's never been programmed. I'm just going to set it right here into the top of the tool. Now we want to make sure that we get away from all other sensors. We don't want it to try and program multiple sensors at the same time. So on the screen, we're going to go down to Program Sensor. We're going to select Yes. And then I want to do a Auto Create, so number 4. And then we're going to select Yes. So we'll do an Auto Create on this. We'll select Yes again. It senses the sensor. It's going to upgrade the firmware in this sensor since this is an older sensor. It's going to upgrade it to the newest firmware. And then it's going to program the sensor. Now AutoCreate is just going to randomly pick a number that works on this vehicle. So we do an AutoCreate. And it's done. So now there's our new ID for that sensor. We'll push OK. So one of the other ways is using the newer version of the Autel MX sensor, which with the 408, 508, and 608, you can do batch programming. And batch programming means that you can program multiple sensors all at the same time. So if you have 4 sensors that you need programmed all at the same time. You can lay all those out in one area and do an auto create with all 4 of those at one time. So let's go ahead and do that. But since I'm so close to all my other sensors, we're going to have to move. All right. So here we are. We're going to batch create all 4 of these sensors. I just put the sensors in front, just lay them randomly on the table. You can actually program them in the box if you wanted to. Totally up to you. We're going to go to auto create. Yes. It's going to look for the sensors. It says 4 sensors detected, which is what we got. So we're going to select yes. There we go. All 4 sensors programmed to this truck. That took, what, 20 seconds maybe? So now we can go through and do the relearn procedure on these sensors to the truck. All right, we're back over the truck. We're going to program these sensors that we just auto-created. We're going to program them to the truck. So we're going to back it all the way out. We're going to go back into our 2014. We're going to do position relearn. Are you sure you want to do this? Yep. Okay, tells us how to put it into relearn mode, so let's go ahead and do that. Again, relearn mode is turn the key off, brake pedal, 1, 2, 3, brake pedal, 1, 2, 3, horn honks. Okay, now look what it's telling us to do. It's telling us to train the left front tire. Okay, so let's go do that. Now I just put the sensors on the ground by the tires. We'll scan it. Horn honks. Now notice that it is 0 PSI because I'm outside the tire. We're just going to go ahead and go all the way around. Dang, those sensors are fast. Boom. Okay, all the sensors are programmed. Shows us on the screen, train complete. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and turn the key off. Turn the key back on. Okay, so now all those sensors are now learned to the truck. Low tire pressure because all of them are expecting to be 0. So there you go. It's a very simple process on how to do relearn for TPMS on this Ford 2014 F-150. Now, one of the things that I will caution you about on some of the newer versions of the Fords where it shows the left front tire relearn on the instrument cluster display, sometimes you have to go back and push OK on that after you have scanned the sensor. So the horn doesn't honk on some of the new ones. You push the button on the dash that says OK, and that will get you back up and running.